On play action, wide open, it's Dalan for the touchdown.
The NFL draft is a huge part of every team's roster building process. But sometimes, let's face it, the teams get it wrong. They either take a player that doesn't exactly pan out, or conversely, the team misses on a guy that is ready to make an impact right away. So today, let's take a look at this year's crop of undrafted rookies and pick out the 10 that are most likely to make a big splash in 2024. New Orleans Saints, T.E. Dalan. Don't look now, but when the 2024 season comes to a close, we might see rookie tight end Dalan not just standing out amongst the undrafted crop, but the entire rookie class itself. Dalan landed in a great spot for him to have an impactful rookie season with the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans has traditionally done a pretty good job of developing young talent, and the Saints' offensive scheme under head coach Dennis Allen should bode well for Holker's success. Not to mention that he'll be catching passes from a veteran quarterback in Derek Carr, who has made a couple of other tight ends over the years, cough cough, I'm looking at you, Darren Waller, look really good and help them earn a lot of money. Between both the coaches and quarterbacks' history of utilizing tight ends effectively and Holker's skill set, these two things should definitely align perfectly. He stands at 6'5" and 240 pounds and possesses an ideal combination of size, speed, and agility that makes him a challenging nightmare for defenses. Holker is also just extremely versatile. During his college career at BYU, Holker showcased his ability to line up in various positions, namely the slot and split out wide like a receiver, in addition to the traditional tight end duties. So this will enable the Saints to run a number of different formations and variations of plays out of those formations. New York Giants, DL Casey Rogers. Despite coming out of Oregon undrafted, Casey Rogers has a real chance at making an impact for the New York Giants this year. Rogers brings a blend of size, strength, and tenacity to the defensive line. And at 6'4" and 300 pounds, he has the physical attributes to make an immediate impact in the trenches. New York is very excited about his athleticism coming out of the draft, as he posted a 9.80 relative athletic score during the pre-draft process, according to Pro Football Network. His knack for getting into the backfield and disrupting plays will be a valuable asset for the Giants, who are looking to bolster a defensive front that leaves a lot to be desired beyond Dexter Lawrence. The good news for New York and Rodgers is that the young DT has experience playing in a rotational system, which the Giants would likely leverage to get him up to speed in the beginning of the season. Arizona Cardinals, WR, Xavier Weaver. The Arizona Cardinals have clearly dedicated their 2024 draft class to building up the weapons around their newly re-signed quarterback, Kyler Murray. Not only did they take Marvin Harrison Jr., who is widely regarded as the best wide receiver prospect of the last decade, but they also acquired Xavier Weaver out of Colorado, who is an undrafted free agent out of the draft. I wouldn't be too shocked to see Weaver be one of the breakout rookies for Arizona in the 2024 season. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. will be the central focus for the offense, and Weaver will have to do some climbing in the depth charts. But with the way that the Cardinals' offense looked last year, it is hard to deny that they are in need of more weapons. Weaver has the ideal frame for a modern wide receiver. His quickness off the line and sharp route running makes him a tough matchup both coming off the slot and out wide. Arizona is hoping that he'll develop into playing a similar role that he played for the Buffaloes last year, where he often served as quarterback Shedeur Sanders' security blanket, so much so that he quietly ended up leading the team in receiving. Arizona has its work cut out for it in a highly competitive NFC West, but the acquisition of Weaver should bode well for them, as he really projects to be one of the most impactful undrafted free agents in the game this year. Denver Broncos, RB Blake Watson. The running back position as a whole may be under intense scrutiny on draft day, but the narrative actually favors undrafted backs like Blake Watson out of the University of Memphis. This is because teams, particularly contending teams, are less interested in investing their precious picks towards the top of the draft on running backs, and would much rather scour the later rounds and even the undrafted free agency pool to try and find a hidden gem on the cheap like Arian Foster back when. During the 2023 season at Memphis, which was his first as a Tiger after transferring out of Old Dominion, Watson proved to be one of the most impactful running backs in the game, both carrying the football and catching passes out in the backfield. He had some impressive splits, turning his 192 carries into 1,152 yards and 14 touchdowns on the ground, in addition to another 53 catches for 480 yards and 3 scores through the air. That versatility is a part of the reason that the Broncos gave him a chance. Watson should fit very well in Sean Payton's offense, which is very well suited for a pass-catching back. I mean, heck, think back to what Alvin Kamara did during his first season after being a third-round pick. Obviously, he's still far from a guarantee. But Blake Watson could be one of those names that we hear a lot as the year progresses, and be that breakout star that the Broncos and their fans have been waiting for. Cincinnati Bengals, LB, Aaron Casey. All right, Bengals fans, let us talk about Aaron Casey. This rookie linebacker out of the University of Indiana is ready to make some noise in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals have shown an impressive knack over the last few seasons for staying ahead of the curve, especially when it comes to filling future needs. Three of the team's four most experienced options at linebacker will either be a free agent after the upcoming season or the 2025 campaign, and only Logan Wilson is signed long-term. So they were pretty wise to take a flyer on a guy like Casey, who put up some impressive numbers during his time with the Indiana Hoosiers. This first-team All-Big Ten performer racked up 195 total tackles, 30.5 tackles for a loss, and 8 sacks over the last 2 seasons. The guy is a tackling machine and knows how to get behind the line of scrimmage to disrupt plays. The Bengals coaching staff will definitely look to get him involved early and often to try and get a sense of what kind of fit he'll be in their system long-term. And based on the talented front that Cincy has in place, there should be a really strong opportunity for the former Hoosier to stand out and make an impact. What he lacks in raw athleticism, he certainly makes up for in football IQ and his top-notch instincts on the field. It isn't flashy, but he knows how to get the job done. New York Jets, DL Leonard Taylor III. All right, Jets fans, we got some good news for you amid the offseason chaos of your stars not showing up to the OTAs. Leonard Taylor III, the defensive lineman that the team picked up as an undrafted free agent, is a name that you are going to want to remember. This guy was pegged as a future first-round pick heading into the 2023 season, but as the year went on, that hype began to fade, and he ended up sliding right out of the draft entirely. Now, obviously, there is cause for concern there, but getting a player with his raw physical ability as an undrafted player should be very exciting. Imagine adding Taylor to the Jets' already formidable defensive front that was one of the best units in the league last year, bar none. This is a team that loves to bring the heat, and Taylor could be another weapon in their arsenal. He's got the size, the strength, and if he can work on that pad level to help elevate his game to the next level, he is gonna be a problem for offensive lines. So, keep an eye on Leonard Taylor III. He might have slipped out of the draft, but he is landing in a spot where he can develop and make an impact for a team with playoff aspirations. The Jets' defensive line just got a lot more interesting with this addition. Don't sleep on this guy. He has got the potential to be a real game changer. Minnesota Vikings, edge, Gabriel Murphy. Keep an eye on Gabriel Murphy, the undrafted edge rusher coming out of UCLA. He might not have been the biggest name on draft day, but he does have the potential to be a real game changer for the Vikings. With his explosive style of play and relentless pursuit, Murphy is ready to make his mark in Minnesota and become a key piece of the Vikings defense. The man knows how to get after the ball carrier. During his last season as a Bruin, he notched 16 tackles for a loss and 8 sacks. The Vikings' defensive scheme under head coach Kevin O'Connell is designed to maximize the potential of their pass rushers, and Murphy fits right into that plan. And with a huge hole to fill following the departure of veteran edge rusher Danielle Hunter, Murphy has a unique opportunity to get in the mix early for the Vikes and to develop his skills and refine his technique in real time. Gabriel Murphy is definitely going to be a guy that you need to follow. Carolina Panthers, WR Jaylen Coker. Panthers fans have not really had a whole lot to smile about in recent years. But their team, against all odds, may have actually found a diamond in the rough in former Holy Cross standout wide receiver Jaylen Coker. In his final season on campus, he racked up over 1,000 receiving yards and scored 10 touchdowns. His ability to stretch the field and make big plays was a constant headache for defenses, and he showed a propensity for coming up clutch in crucial moments, which was part of what caught the eye of NFL scouts and coaches alike. His 40 time wasn't blazing fast at 4.57, but at 6'1" with a 41.5-inch vertical jump, the guy can go up and get it. A physical security blanket type receiver could be exactly what the Panthers' second-year QB, Bryce Young, really needs. Don't be surprised if we see these two put up some impressive numbers together this year as the Panthers try to right the ship. Pittsburgh Steelers, CB, Beanie Bishop Jr. The Pittsburgh Steelers have clearly put an emphasis on developing a young and athletic defensive secondary. Four of their big names, Joey Porter Jr., Ryan Watts, Corey Trice Jr., and Darius Rush, have played 2 or fewer seasons. And now they are looking to add to that young, dynamic bunch with Beanie Bishop Jr. Bishop had a busy college career. He started off at Western Kentucky, then had stops at the University of Minnesota before becoming a West Virginia Mountaineer, where he became a second-team All-American and led the FBS with 24 passes defended and his team with 4 interceptions. He's a little bit undersized for the modern NFL game, but that kind of playmaking ability cannot be taught. Plus, Bishop loves to play a physical brand of football and won't be afraid of rising to the challenge. Bishop also has the good fortune of playing for a top head coach in Mike Tomlin, who knows how to get the best out of his guys. This one looks to be like a match made in heaven. Baltimore Ravens safety Braid. The Ravens have earned a reputation for developing defensive talent over the years, and, well, Braid fits right into that mold. Baltimore's defensive scheme is perfect for a player like Braid, who can be used in multiple roles, whether it's playing deep, coming up in the box, or covering the slot. With veterans like Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton to learn from, Braid is in an excellent environment to develop his skills and grow as a player. Not to mention that he's going to be playing for one of the most experienced and accomplished defensive-minded head coaches in the game today in John Harbaugh. Standing at 6 foot tall and 205 pounds, Braid has the ideal frame for an NFL safety. He's got the size and physicality to match up against tight ends and running backs, while also possessing the speed and agility to cover ground in the secondary. Braid is a physical safety with a nose for the ball. He's aggressive in run support and has the instincts to make plays in coverage, which is exactly what you want from your safety in the modern NFL. He'll obviously need to make some adjustments to the way that he reads and understands the game as the NFL moves at a completely different pace, but with the right coaching, he can become a reliable contributor. No doubt about that. But hey, which NFL undrafted rookie do you think could make the biggest impact this season? Who do you think we got right? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, well, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.